What's guys, the Red Cloak here, and today, now that the official translations of My Hero Academia chapter 308 has finally come out, I can finally talk about Deku and how he changed in this chapter. Not as a character, but his whole mindset and how he fights. The way he changed was fantastic. The way he used his powers was amazing, but I'll get right into that in the video. But if you are new, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell notification to always stay notified whenever I upload. Remember, I upload My Academia, Black Clover, and JJK, so you can stay around and watch the stuff that you like here. Now, without further ado, let's get into the chapter and talk about how Deku has changed. I would also like to talk about that I'm not really going to be showing any manga panels unless they're colored, or unless they're from somebody else that colored them, and I'm definitely going to credit them because you guys already know I do that. I don't steal. And anyways, I don't want to get my channel struck down by Shueisha. And again, I like the channel as it is. Now, right now, we have saw in the beginning of the story, Deku hasn't really been really smart with One For All. Yes, he's a smart guy, but he hasn't been really smart in his fighting style. When Deku fights, a body part of his is definitely get injured. And the fights I want to talk about are mainly when he versed Chisaki, Shigaraki in the war arc, and Muscular in the forest. The Muscular one is definitely the one that piques my interest, because when Deku first encountered him, Deku was just throwing punches at punches. He didn't really have a plan, but all he could do is try to get Koda away from Muscular. Again, that's a good plan, but he didn't have a plan with the quirk. He didn't have a plan in the fight. He just thought he's just gonna throw consecutive hard punches at Muscular. Muscular was just the ultimate defense to One For All. Not trying to say Deku is a moron, not trying to say Deku isn't a competent fighter. He is, but with One For All, he thinks that maybe strong punches could work on Muscular. I'm not trying to say this to bash Deku in any way, but again, there was need to improvement with his fighting style. He can't just be like All Might or use kicks. He needs to have a plan when he's fighting a villain. Flaw was most definitely exposed by Shigaraki in the war arc, somebody who could steal One For All, and somebody who can match him in strength. Now, Deku, again, he's not an idiot, but he needs to have a plan when he's fighting a villain. He can't just go in there guns blazing, fighting with fisticuffs. He needs to have a plan with these quirks. And with Black Whip and with Danger Sense, but we know he got Black Whip first, he didn't really have a plan with it. He was just going to wrap around the opponent and didn't really have a good motive, a good plan going around the fight. As Genius Sr. did point this flaw out, because all these flaws that Deku had, all of the previous One For All users had this. And he was just telling Deku, do not let One For All use you. You have to use One For All. And yes, they have all went through this. They know that they've made mistakes with One For All, letting One For All use them instead of them having to use One For All. I hope people don't think I'm too hard on Deku, but I think Horikoshi purposely did this just so we could find a way to criticize Deku's fighting style so we can prove later on. Even somebody like All Might, somebody who's possibly one of the best users of One For All, has this mistake, letting One For All use them. And All Might, even though he's the perfect vessel, he just goes out there and does his 1-2 punches and continues it, even though it can drain him. You could say that All Might didn't have the glory of using these quirks of these passive users, but Deku does, because Deku is most likely the final user of this quirk, and he may be the last hope of stopping All For One in Shigaraki's plans. Now, with Deku's battle with Muscular in chapter 308, he's able to understand the flaws. The past months that he was away from his friends and away from All Might and the others, he probably knew these flaws were apparent. He knew these flaws were there, so he needed some way to stop it and become a better and competent fighter. That's where the Vestiges quirks come in, and Deku uses them not as a crutch from him using One For All, it's for support. These quirks are mainly for support for Deku, so Deku can have a plan. The way he was fighting Muscular, he was using the smoke screen to basically blind Muscular's vision and lead him towards him, but the crutch to this is Deku wouldn't see Muscular coming in a sneak attack. This is why Deku wanted Muscular to get lead towards him, and so Deku used Black Whip, but first he used Danger Sense. Danger Sense may seem like Ultra Instinct where he could dodge automatically, but I think he has to be faster than Deku's Danger Sense. Deku's able to dodge with his Danger Sense, and when he sees an opening on Muscular, he uses Black Whip to bind him and start swinging him around. Now, start comparing Deku fighting his opponents now to his opponents back then. When Deku fought Stain, Overhaul, Muscular for the first time, Shigaraki, he was flawed. He didn't have a plan in his fights, and he didn't really seem like a competent fighter. And now with chapter 308, he seems like he's got a grip and knows what to do with these quirks now. Not just using them as a crutch for One For All, not just using One For All and letting One For All use him. He's letting himself use One For All and using these quirks as a tool. Danger Sense, Float, using the smokescreen, Black Whip. We should all start giving props to Shindo because of how good he did in the muscular fight beforehand. Now, we will be saying we're smoking that Shindo pack, but no, we shouldn't really be, because Shindo is the reason why Deku was able to one-punch Muscular out of there. Even though it may seem fraudulent that he went 9th place in the popularity poll, he definitely deserves some credit. Was able to use Trumpeting Earth to actually unbind and dislocate some of Muscular's muscles where he couldn't defend himself. And we already knew that was a problem for Deku in the first time, because Deku couldn't break through the armor. This makes it even better for Midoriya, because he couldn't get past the muscle fibers from Muscular in the first time they fought. And now that Muscular can't defend himself and can't make that defense to give him that upper hand, Deku was easily able to get him out of there and finish the job really nicely. And if it wasn't for Shindo, I don't think Deku would actually get a good clean hit to finish off Muscular and to knock him out. But Muscular could always get up next chapter and could do something crazy. But right now it looks like Muscular is knocked out and it looks like Muscular lost. But again, give props to Shindo. He may seem fraudulent for getting that 9th place spot, but again, he did help Deku with his victory. I think people need to understand that Shindo isn't just an average Joe hero. He's a hero in training, and Muscular isn't just some random villain. He is a convict. He's a known villain for slaughtering people, and what Shindo did to help out Deku was amazing, so let's give him his props. The other thing that changed about Deku is the way he approaches villains. Remember last time when he fought Muscular, he didn't really have time to tell him why he is, because again, he was fighting for his life and fighting for Koda. And now he is able to have this conversation with him and say, why do you have these urges to go on rampages? And Muscular just answers simply, to live a life with no regrets. You may see this as naivety, and you may see this as stupid for Deku trying to sympathize or trying to understand, Muscular, but it's actually pretty good and makes him a true hero. He went by his words. He wants to save people. He wants to understand their motives first before even killing, and he wants to understand why they are. Deku will understand that maybe one time he might need to kill, but he understands that Muscular and Shigaraki are the same. They both killed people, and they both are murderers, and they both hurt people close to them, and he just wants to try and understand why they are. And Deku knows deep inside Muscular's heart there must be something driving him. There must be a reason why he's doing this, and Deku may not ever find out, and we may find out, but I don't think this is going to be enough to redeem Muscular. I think it's going to give us why he is, but not enough to redeem him. I think everything that was leading up to this fight, everything that was leading up to Deku finally trying to understand these villains and trying to understand their motives, is just great for his character and him changing for the better and his fighting style. And I do understand that people may see this as stupid, but this is Deku's character. He always wanted to save people, and he never wanted to kill. It was never in his nature. It's a great choice by Horikoshi for actually hyping up Deku and giving him this first villain on his new realization back. And Muscular is that perfect for his villain. Somebody who embodies a villain. Nothing but bloods and guts and fight and murder. And Deku must find a way to defeat him and also try to find a way to understand him and see what made him tick inside. But that's all I have to say for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. It has been the Red Cloak. I'm gonna head up out of here. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And again, this chapter was very, very good. I give it a 10 out of 10. And I'm gonna head up out of here, guys. Peace out. I'm out, guys. Peace. See y'all later.